各位代表
Deputies,
第13届全国人民代表大会第5次
the
会议
fifth session of the 13th National People's Congress has scheduled attendance of 2,951. Today we have
出席
actual attendance
2790
of
人
2,790, with 161 absent. The number of actual attendance is up to the requirement.
现在我宣布
Now I declare
中华人民共和国第13
the
届
fifth
全国人民
session
代
of the
表大会
13th National People's Congress of the People's Republic of China is inaugurated.
请全体起立，
Please all rise
唱国歌。
and sing the national anthem.
请坐下。
Please be seated.
各位代表，
Deputies,
今天的全体会议有7项议程。
today's meeting we have 7 items on the agenda. Let's begin with the first one, to deliberate the government work report.
下面
Now
请国
let's
务院
give the
总理
floor
李
to
克强
Premier
同志
Li Keqiang
做
of the
报告
State Council to deliver the report.
Fellow 各位代表，
Deputies,
现在我代表
now, on
国务
behalf
院
of the State Council,
向大会
I will now
报告政
report
府
to you
工
on the
作，
work of the
请予
government
审议，
and ask for your deliberation and approval,
全国政
and
协委
also ask
员
members of the National
提出
Committee of the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference for their comments.
2021年
First,
工作回顾。
review of our work in
过去一
2021.
年
Last year
是党和国家历史上
was
具有
a
里
milestone
程
in the
碑意义
history of the Communist Party of China and
以
our
习近平
country.
同志为核心的
The
党中
CPC
央
Central Committee with
团
Comrade Xi
结带
Jinping
领
as
全
core
党全国各
united
族人
and led the whole party and
隆
Chinese
重
people
庆
of
祝
all
中国
ethnic
共产
groups
党成立
celebrated
100周
the
年，
centenary of the Communist
胜
Party
利
of
召
China.
开党的
We successfully
19
convened the 19th
届六中
CPC Central Committee,
制定党的
where
第
a
3个
resolution of the
历史
party's major achievements and
如期
historic
打赢和
experience
平
over
攻
the
坚战，
past century was adopted. We
如
declare
期
victory in poverty
全面
alleviation,
建成
and we
小
achieve
康社会，
the first
实现
centenary goal
第一个
to building
百
a
年奋斗
moderately
目标，
prosperous society in all
开启
aspects,
全面
and
建
began
设
a new
社会主
journey
义现代化
towards
国家，向第
the
二个
second centenary
百
goal
年
of
奋斗
building
目
a
标
modern socialist country
新
in
征程。
all aspects.
1年来，
Last
面
year,
对复杂
facing
严峻的
complicated and challenging
国内外形势
circumstances
和诸
both at
多
home
风
as many risks and
全国
challenges,
上下
all of
共
us
同努力
throughout the country work
统
hard
筹疫
as
情
one.
防控，
We responded to
和经济社会
COVID-19
发展
and pursue
全
economic
年
and social
主
development.
要目标任务较好完
We
成，
have accomplished the main
14
targets for the
实
year
现
and got
良好
the
开局，
14th five-year plan
我国
of
发
a
展
good start.
又取得
And once
新
again,
的
we secured
重大
a new
成
and
就。
major achievements in our country's development.
经济保持
The
恢复
economy
发展，
continued to recover and
国
grow.
内生产总值
China's
达
gross
到
domestic products reached
114万亿，
114 trillion yuan,
增长
growing
8.1%，
8.1%.
全国财政收入
National
突
fiscal
破
revenue
20万元，
exceeded 20 trillion
增
yuan,
长
growing
10.7%。
10.7%.
城镇新增就业
A total of
1269万人，
69 million
居民消费
urban
价
jobs
格
were
上涨
added.
0.9%，
CPI rose by
创新
0.9%.
能力进一步增强。
A basic equivalent was maintained at the balance of the payments. And also we made a
企
lot
业
of
研发
achievements in the
经费
innovation.
增长
The corporate
15.5%。
spending has been grown by
经济结构和
15.5%.
区域布局
The economic
继续
structure
优化
and regional development
粮食
priorities
产量
were refined. The
1.37
grain
万
output
亿，
reached a record high of
高技术
685
制造
million
业
metric
增加值
tons.
增长
The value added of the high-tech manufacturing
18.2%。
sector grew by
改革开
18.2%.
放不断深化，
We continue
供
to
给
step
侧
up efforts
结
in
构性
reform
改
and
革
opening up,
深入推进，
and especially
放
on the
缓复
supply
改
side
革
reform.
取得
And
新
we
进
have
展。
made achievements
市场
in
主体
streamlined
总量
administration and
超
delegate
过
power and improved regulation and upgrade services. Total number
高
of
质
market
量共
entities
建
supplies
“一带一路”
surpassed 150 million mark.
货物进出口
We have
总
pushed
额
forward
增
the
长
high-quality development,
21.4%。
and the goods
生态文明
of
建
the
设
trade grew
持
by
续推进，
21.4%.
主要
Ecological
污染物排放量
conservation was
继
enhanced.
续下降，
We continue to reduce the
生态环境
pollution
质量明显改善，
discharge, and also we are
人
significantly
民生
improve
活水
the
平
quality of the
逐步提
environment.
高，
The living standards of our
脱贫攻坚
people
成果
have risen
得到
rapidly,
巩固
and also we
拓展，
consolidated our efforts in
基本
poverty
养老
alleviation.
基本医疗
Inputs in basic elderly care, basic
保障
medical
力度
care, and
加大，
social assistance were increased.
新开工改造
New
城
steps
镇
were
老
taken
旧
in
小
the
区
reform and development of the
5.6万。
education. The renovations began on 56,000 old and urban residential communities. Our gains in COVID-19 response were
接种
consolidated.
覆盖率超过
The vaccination rate
85%，
is above
及时有
85%。
效处置局部地区
We have effectively
疫情，保
coped
障
with the sporadic cases
人
in
民
different
生命
places.
安全和身体
We
健康。
have ensured the health and safety of our people and
回顾
maintained the
一年，
normal
过去
order
一
in
年的
work and
成绩，
life. Reflecting on the past
得来
1 year,
初为
we
不
could
易。
see that our achievements did not come easily.
深入贯彻以习近平同志为核心的党中央
In face of the
决策
difficulty, we fully implemented the
贯彻
decisions made by
落
the
实中央经济工
CPC
作
Central
会议
Committee with Comrade Xi Jinping as
完整
core.
准
We
确
also
全面
fulfilled
贯彻
the guiding
新发
principles
展
of
理念
the Central Economic
扎实
Work
做好
Conference and
六
applied the
六
new
保工作
development
注重
philosophy.
宏观政策
We also make sure that we can ensure stability on 6 key fronts and security in 6 key
各种
areas.
风险挑战，
We are able to deal with all risks and challenges. Our main work are as follows. First,
保持宏观政策
we kept
连续
macro
性，
policy
针对性
consistent and targeted
推动经济运行保持在
and
合理
made the
区间。
major economic indicators
宏
within
观
the
政策
appropriate range.
保持
Our
对
macro
经济
policies
恢复
facilitated
必要支持
cross-cyclical adjustments and also
同时
provide support for
考虑
economic
为
recovery.
今年
We also
应对
took
困
into
难
account the
挑
need
战预
to
留
leave ample
政策
policy
空间
space for meeting difficulties and challenges this
常态
year.
化
We established a
财
regular
政资金
mechanism
直达机
to
制，
directly allocate budgetary
有
funds
效实施
to
稳
other
健的货
places.
币政策，
We take a
强化
prudent fiscal
稳岗
policy,
扩就业
stabilize
政策
the
落实。从全年看，
employment, and
主
support
要
the
宏观经
employment.
济指标符合预期，
And for the
财
whole
政
year,
赤字率
the
和
prudent
宏
monetary
观
policy
杠杆
take
率
good
下
effect
降。
and lower the
经济
reserve
收缩
ratio tries to facilitate the reduction of the low interest rates.
二是优化和落实助
We
息
refine
纾困政
and
策，
implement the policies for easing the difficulties of business and consolidating
上
the
亿市
further
场主体
foundation of
承载
economic
着
recovery.
数亿人
As over
就业、
100
创
million market entities have given
宏观
several
政策
hundred
连
million
续
people the
疫情发生
opportunities
以来
to go
行
into
之有
business,
效的支持路径和作用。
and also we provide a lot
去
of
年
support
新增
for the anti-epidemic
减税
fight.
降费
The tax
超
and
过
the fee cuts last
1
year
万亿元，
last year totaled
实际
more
上
than 1 trillion
也
yuan.
是涵养税源新增的涉税市场
The
主
tax
体
payment were postponed for micro, small, and medium enterprises in manufacturing as well as coal-fired power plants and heating supply enterprises as temporary
改革
measures.
扩大开放，持
Third,
续
we deepened
改善
reform,
营商
expanding
环境
opening up, and continue to
继
improve
续
the
压
business
减
environment.
涉及
We
审批
continue
手
to
续
reduce the
和
number
办
of
理时间
procedures and the length of time
加强
it takes for
和
enterprises
创新监管
to gain government
维护
approval.
公平竞争，
We need to ensure
加
a
大
fair
稳
marketplace.
外贸、稳外资，
We have to stabilize the foreign trade and foreign investment. Fourth,
强化创新引领，
we promoted innovation-driven development and stabilized industrial and supply chain.
将制造业企业
We
研发
boosted
费
the
用
development
加
of
计
the
扣
national
除
laboratory
比
and
例
prompted
提
the
高到
implementation of major
100%。
science and technology
新兴产业
programs.
保
We
持
reform and
良好发展
refine the management of the central government funding for
推动
scientific
城乡
and the
区域
technological
协调发展
research. Fifth,
不断
we will
优化
promote the coordinated development between rural and
落实
urban areas and
区域
between the regions
重大
and
战略
improve the
和
structure
区域
of the
协调发展
economy.
战略
We have to
加
take
强
strong efforts for
农
the
业生产
coordinated
推
development.
动乡村振兴。
We have to advance the
六
rural
是加
revitalization.
强生态
Six,
环境保护，
we strengthened
促
the
进
environment protection and promoted sustainable
蓝天
development.
碧水
We consolidate our gains in keeping the sky's blue waters clear and land pollution
生态
free.
保护修复
And we
重大
continue our key projects in restoring ecosystems and also release the action plan to reach the carbon
着力
emission
保障和
by
改善民生
2030.
加快发展
Seven, we work to ensure and improve the people's well-being and accelerated development of social programs, and we work and shore up weak links in rural compulsory
每
education.
人每年
Increased the subsidies
增加4000元，
by 4,000 yuan per person
上
per
调
year.
退休人员基本养老
The basic pension for
把
retirees was
更多常
increased,
见病等门诊费用纳
and
入
we also
医保报销范围，
include
经过精心筹备，
the scope of the subsistence allowance scheme and also expanded ODU scheme.
精彩的北京冬奥会，也一定能
China
办
has
好
presented the world with a simple, safe, and splendid 2022 Winter Olympic Games. And the Paralympic Games, which has just opened, will undoubtedly also be a great
八
success.
是
Eight,
推进法治
we
政
made
府建设
progress in building a rule of law government and developing new ways of governance, and maintained social harmony and stability.
全国人大常
We
委会
submitted
审议法律意见10部，
10 legislative proposals to the Standing Committee of the NPC for deliberation and formulated
创新城
and
乡基层
revised the set of regulations. We also handled proposals of the deputies. We also cracked down the wrongdoings and also the criminal
努力保
cases.
障人民群
We
众
also
生命财产安全。
do everything we can to protect the
贯
people's
彻落实
lives
党
and
中
the
央全
property.
面从严治党战略部署，
We implemented the Party Central Committee's strict decision to exercise full and strict party self-governance. We carried out activities, studied the history of the CPC, and did more to improve party conduct. And we also continue our efforts implementing the leadership's 8-point decision, and also continue our steps to ease the burdens of those working on the ground. We advance China's major country diplomacy on all fronts. President Xi Jinping and other party and state leaders attended via video link major diplomatic events, including the 76th UN General Assembly, the 16th G20 Leaders Summit, the 28th APEC Economic Leaders Meeting, the 13th BRICS Summit, the special summit to commemorate the 30th anniversary of China-ASEAN dialogue relations,
中非论坛部
the
长级
opening
会议
ceremony
东亚合作领导人协
of
会
the China-Africa Cooperation, the East Asia Leaders Meeting on Cooperation, and the 13th Asia-Europe Meeting. We also successfully hosted a number of major diplomatic events. We promoted the building of a human community with a shared future, and also worked with other countries to advance international cooperation on COVID-19 response.
为促进世
We
界
have
和平与
thus
发展
contributed
做出了
our share
积极
to
贡献
promoting world peace and development.
各位代表，
Fellow
过去一
deputies,
年取得的成绩，
we owe our achievements last year to the strong leadership of the Party Central Committee with Comrade Xi Jinping at its core, the sound guidance of Xi Jinping's thought on socialism with Chinese characteristics for a new era,
全党
and
全军
the concerted
全国各族
efforts of the party, the armed forces, and the Chinese people of all ethnic groups. On behalf of the State Council, I wish to express sincere gratitude to all our people and to all other political parties, people's organizations, and public figures from all sectors of society. I express heartfelt appreciation to our fellow countrymen and women in the Hong Kong, Macau, SAR, in Taiwan, and also overseas. I also wish to express heartfelt thanks to the governments of other countries, international organizations, and friends across the world who have shown understanding and support for us in China as we pursue modernization. While recognizing our achievements, we are also very clear about the problems and challenges before us. We have seen the external environment increasingly volatile, grave, and uncertain. Domestically, we're also under the triple pressure of shrinking demand, disputed supply, and weakening expectations. The MSE is still facing the difficulties in production and business operations, and we also have a further work to do in our party's conduct and also the work of the government. Some local governments use one-size-fits-all or campaign-style approaches in policy implementation. A small number of officials either shirk their responsibilities, fail to do their jobs, or behave irresponsibly. Some officials, by disregarding serious infringements on the rights and interests of the people, have been derelict in their duties. Corruption remains a common problem. We must be more mindful of potential difficulties, face problems and challenges squarely, make every effort to deliver a satisfactory performance, do our utmost to live up to people's expectations. 2. Overall requirements of and policy orientation for economic and social development in 2022. This year, the Communist Party of China will hold its 20th National Congress, so this year is of great significance. For the government to deliver, we must, under the strong leadership of the Party Central Committee with Comrade Xi Jinping at its core, follow the guidance of Xi Jinping's thought on socialism with Chinese characteristics for a new era, implement the guiding principles of Party's 19th National Congress and all plenary sessions, carry forward the great founding spirit of the party, act on the general principle of pursuing progress while ensuring stability, apply the new development philosophy in full and right way and in all fields of endeavor, and move faster to create a new pattern of development, deepen reform and opening up in all sectors, and pursue innovation-driven development, and promote high-quality development, advance supply-side structural reform as the main task, respond to COVID-19, and pursue economic and social development in a well-coordinated way. Ensure both development and security, continue to ensure stability on 6 key fronts, and maintain security in 6 key areas. Keep working to improve people's lives and strive to maintain stable macroeconomic performance, keep major economic indicators within the proper range, and maintain overall social stability. And we will pave the way for a successful 20th National Party Congress. A comprehensive analysis of evolving dynamics at home and abroad indicates that this year our country will encounter many more risks and challenges, and we must keep pushing to overcome them. The harder things get, the more confident we must be, and the more solid steps we must take to deliver outcomes. The fundamentals of our economy remain unchanged, and they will maintain long-term growth. We have many favorable conditions for sustaining development, and our people in hundreds of millions aspire to a better life, have huge potential for starting businesses and engaging in innovation. And there is no doubt that China's economy will withstand any downward pressure and continue growing steadily long into the future. The main projected targets for development this year are as follows: GDP growth of around 5.5%, over 11 million new urban jobs, a surveyed urban unemployment rate of no more than 5.5%. CPI increase of around 3%. Growth in personal income that is basically in step with economic growth. steady increases in both the volume and quality of imports and exports, a basic equilibrium in the balance of payments, grain output of over 650 million metric tons, further improvements in the environment, continued reduction in the discharge of major pollutants, energy consumption per unit of GDP to be assessed with appropriate flexibility within the framework of the 14th Five-Year Plan, and the exclusion of newly added renewable energy and coal, petroleum, and natural gas consumed as the raw material in the total amount of energy consumption. The above economic growth target is based mainly on the need to maintain stable employment, meet basic living needs, and guard against risks. It represents a medium-high rate of growth given our large economic aggregate, and that demonstrates our ability to move proactively. That also require arduous efforts. To fulfill the development goals and the tasks for the year, we should pursue prudent and effective macro policies that can continuously energize market entities. And we should also look at the structural policies that facilitate smooth flows in the economy. And we should also to look at the regional policies that should be ensure more balanced and coordinated development, and social policies to meet basic living needs. Macro policies should be kept consistent and made more effective. The proactive fiscal policy should be more effectual, more targeted, and the prudent monetary policy should be both flexible and appropriate. And the employment-first policy should be pursued with intensified efforts to deliver the desired outcomes. The policy should produce effects early on, and the policy tools we have in reserve should be promptly deployed. Regarding COVID-19, we need to further prevent inbound cases and domestic resurgence. For the domestic outbreaks, we need to deal with the situations in a scientific and targeted manner.
In our work this year, we must make economic stability our top priority and pursue progress while ensuring stability. In face of the new downward pressure, we have to put stable growth as our top priority. All localities and government departments should fulfill their responsibilities for maintaining stable macroeconomic performance. We should take coordinated measures to keep growth stable, promote structural adjustment, and carry out reform. We should work faster to transform the growth model and say no to extensive development model. We should follow a fact-based approach and bear in mind that China is still in its primary stage of socialism. We have to manage our own affairs and respect the laws of development and the reality on the ground and the needs of our people. We should work in light of the actual conditions. We should promote both an efficient market and a well-functioning government, and we should motivate the market dynamism and social creativity. We must act on the people-centered development philosophy and rely on the efforts of everyone so as to keep realizing the people's aspiration for a better life. Three. Major tasks for 2022. This year, we face heavy tasks and many challenges in economic and social development. We should follow the decisions and requirements of the Party Central Committee with Comrade Xi Jinping as core, apply the new development philosophy in full and in the right way. We have to move faster to create a new pattern of the development and promote high-quality development so as to deliver solid outcomes in all areas. First, achieving stable microeconomic performance and keeping major economic indicators within the appropriate range. We have to improve the stability. And also, we have to see that the proactive fiscal policy is more effective. The deficit to GDP ratio is 2.8%, slightly lower than last year. This will be boosting the fiscal sustainability. It is projected that the fiscal revenue will continue to grow this year We also have available to us the surplus profits of state-owned financial institutions and the state monopoly business operations from recent years turned over in accordance with the law and funds transferred from the central budget stabilizing fund. And this will increase the greater fiscal resources at our disposal. All of these funds will be channeled to local levels so as to ease the difficulties of enterprises, stabilize employment, meeting living needs, and increase the consumption and demand. This year, the central government expenditure will increase by 3.9%. And the budgetary spending of central government will continue to register negative growth. The central government transfer payment to local government will be close to 9.8 trillion yuan, up by 18%, and this is the largest increase in recent years. The central government will place more budgetary funds under the mechanism for direct allocation, and the provincial level government should also provide additional fiscal support to these levels. It is important that for the local governments are both able, motivated to carry out policies that will benefit the business and the people. We will use government investment funds to stimulate and expand effective investment. This year's special bonds for local governments will total 3.65 trillion yuan. We will take a lot of approach to ensure that investment will stay with the projects, and also the civil investments will account for a large portion. We have to make sure that the government fund have played a key role so that we will give full play to the leveraging role of the major projects and the government investment and refine relevant supporting policies. Government will keep its belt tightened and keep spending low to benefit the people. So for the provincial government and the municipal government should take the lead. They have to control the general expenditures and they have to reject extravagance. For those who have abusive use of the public funds will be penalized. We have to make sure that our precious fund can be used in the areas that is crucial to the development and meet the urgent needs of our people. We will step up implementation of the prudent monetary fund. We will use the monetary policy tools to adjust both monetary aggregates and the monetary structure so as to provide more robust support for the real economy. We have to maintain a stable leverage ratio. The RMB exchange rate will be kept generally stable and at adaptive balance level. We will further improve the transmission mechanism of monetary policy. We have to reduce the fees, make sure that we could benefit a great number of market entities so that the financing fees will be significantly reduced. We will strengthen the employment first policy. The fiscal and the financial policies will facilitate the implementation of the employment first policy. All the localities have to work to expand the employment. Make sure that we have safety in the energy and food. Making sure that we could supply sufficient food and energy. We will improve our capacity to provide this food, making sure that the price levels will be kept generally stable. We will prevent and diffuse major risks. We will continue to address all of these responsibilities in all the localities. We will take rule-based measures to diffuse the risk, making sure that there's no systemic risk arise. Second, keeping the operation of market entities stable and maintaining job security by strengthening micro policies. We will implement a new package of tax and fee policies to support enterprises. We will continue to temporary steps and institutional measures to apply policies for both tax reductions and refunds. First, we will extend the tax and the fee reduction policies and support the manufacturing, SMEs and self-employed individuals and expand the scale and scope of these policies. To the small-sized taxpayers, we will exempt some of the VAT taxes for the SMEs if the revenue is between 1 million to 3 million RMB. Their tax will be further halved. Local governments should also adopt effective tax and fee reduction steps based on local conditions and in accordance with the law to maintain the scale of the tax and fee reductions and keep the market expectations stable. Second, we need to improve the cash flow of the enterprises, promote the consumption-driven investment, and further improve the systems for refunding VAT credits. We will also issue the VAT credit refunds on a big scale this year. And this year, we will work to fully resolve problems in refunding VAT credits, especially for the SMEs. By the end of June, all of these deductions will be refunded. And for the central government will also provide greater fiscal support and especially will focus on the area of the manufacturing research and the technical services, environmental protection, electricity and gas, and the transportation industries. Such a substantial increase in VAT credit refunds will help strongly boost the market confidence. Tax refunds and costs are expected to total 2.5 trillion yuan this year. VAT credit refunds will account for 1.5 trillion yuan of this sum and all go straight to enterprises. The central governments will provide greater fiscal support for local governments and allocate fiscal subsidies directly to the prefecture and the counties. Local governments and relevant departments should develop sound systems to allocate funds more effectively. Make sure that we can provide assistance and help to the enterprises when they are in need. We will encourage the financial sector to provide more effective support to the real economy. Especially, we will provide more loans to the micro and small business and increase re-lending for agriculture and small enterprises. And especially for the enterprises hit hard by the COVID-19, we will provide financing support, making sure that there is no arbitrary termination of the loan agreements. And we have to cover the wider range, so we are forming a good environment so that we could serve the real economy, especially to resolve the issue for the SMEs for their difficult access to the financing. We will help lower business costs. We will rectify excessive surcharges levied by unity companies and support local governments in adopting temporary preferential policies. We will encourage large platform enterprises to lower service fees. And also we will launch initiatives to end unjustified charges levied on business and develop mechanisms for coordinated regulation and joint punishment. We will intensify efforts to get outstanding payments owed to small and medium-sized enterprises cleared, especially for those enterprises that have been badly hit by COVID-19. We will provide stronger support to those enterprises and the sectors so that they could sustain and gain success in the future. We will fully implement all measures to stabilize employment. We will continue the policy of refunding unemployment insurance premiums for enterprises that make no cuts or minimum costs to staff members. This year, over 10 million students are due to graduate from college this year. We will give our graduates stronger policy support for the services of employment. We also provide support to the veterans, and also we assist people with disabilities and members of zero-employment families in securing jobs. We will do more to promote business startups and innovation initiatives and improve the service capacity of entrepreneurship and innovation platforms. We will provide more vocational trainings and use over 100 billion yuan from the Unemployment Insurance Fund to support enterprises so that more people can gain skills and specialties. So we will foster more talented people to come in all aspects of the society.
Third, steadfastly deepening reform to strengthen market vitality and internal momentum for development. To develop a socially market economy, we should step up efforts to transfer government functions, and also we need to build our market and create it as a market-oriented, law-based and internationalized business environment. We need to further deepen our reform to streamline administration, upgrade our services, and also continue to expand our market access. List-based management will be fully implemented for matters requiring government approval, and we will continue our efforts in the government service on a cross-provincial basis and realize mutual nationwide recognition of the A license. We will continue to make sure that our government at all levels perform their duties, and will continue to implement the fair competition and also make sure that we take our stronger action against monopolies and unfair competition to ensure a well-ordered and fair market environment. We will promote the common development of enterprises under all forms of ownership, and we will uphold and further improve the basic socialist economic system and also consolidate and develop the public sector and non-public sector. We will continue to have a good understanding of the defining feature of capital and also continue to launch further policies to support the private sectors. We will also continue to promote the entrepreneurial spirit and also support them to do their jobs and develop their businesses free from undue concern. We will advance reforms of the fiscal, taxation, and the financial system. We will further reform the performance-based budgetary management and strengthen the budgetary constraints and the transparency. We crack down on tax evasion and fraud in accordance with the law. We will strengthen and refine financial regulation, further reform the equity structure and corporate governance of small and medium banks. Fourth, further implementing the innovation-driven development strategy and strengthening the foundation of the real economy. We will continue our 10-year action plan on basic research to ensure stable support over the long term, and we will continue to engage international scientific and technological cooperation and step up efforts to build talent centers and make sure that they devote themselves to research and realize their full potential. We will promote greater synergy between industry, academia, research, and application. We will promote the development of virtual capital, and we enhance the policy on granting additional tax deduction for R&D. For the small and medium-sized tech enterprises, will deduct from 75% to 100%. And the government will also give more support in terms of government funding to these enterprises in terms of innovation endeavor. So these enterprises can invest more in R&D and generate and build up new drivers of growth. We will boost the core competitiveness of manufacturing. We will upgrade the traditional industry and speed up the development of advanced manufacturing cluster and the national program to foster a cluster of strategic emerging industry. We will encourage development of the digital economy, and also we focus on the industrial internet, and build up digital industries. Fifth, expanding domestic demand and promoting coordinated regional development and new urbanization. We will do our best to restore the consumption and also promote the deep integration of online and offline consumption so we can promote recovery in consumption of consumer services. We will step up the construction of supporting facilities for community elderly and child care. And we will protect our consumers' rights and interests, ensure public demand is met, and encourage people to spend. We will increase effective investment, and we will construct the major projects, and also the upgrading of urban pipelines, including those where gas supply will be accelerated. Flood prevention and the drainage facilities will be improved. Investment from the central government budget will reach 640 billion yuan this year. The government will make improving the people's well-being an investment priority and work harder to shore up weak links in these areas. And we will continue our efforts to make sure that the regions can develop in a balanced and coordinated manner. For the leading major ecological developed provinces, they should leverage their strengths to play a bigger role in driving development of the whole country. We will improve new urbanization initiative, and we will continue to upgrade and renew the old residential communities in urban areas and promote the development of the environment and renovation for the convenience.
Boosting the agricultural production and promoting all-round rural revitalization, we will step up efforts to ensure stable production and sufficient supply of the grain and other important agricultural products, especially for the production of the soybeans and other oilseed crops. And also we have to increase the minimum purchase prices. And also we will incentivize the major grain producing areas. We have to make sure that we will maintain the red line of the 120 million hectares, and also to create high standard crop line by 6.67 million hectares. We have to work together, making sure that we can fill all the rice bags, making sure that we could secure food supply for more than 1.4 billion Chinese people. We will fully consolidate and build on our achievements in poverty elimination, making sure that people will not fall back to poverty, and making sure that we provide support for people who have been moving out of the impoverished regions. We will enhance the self-development capacity of the areas. Especially, we have to provide support for the construction of the facilities. We will increase the income for the migrant workers and also support them for their employment, making sure that all the farmers have more opportunities to increase their income. Seventh, pursuing high standard, opening up and promoting stable growth of foreign trade and investment. We will adopt a package of steps to stabilize the foreign trade. We will expand the coverage of the export credit insurance for micro, small, and medium foreign trade firms, and making sure that we can import more premium products, and also we will facilitate the importation procedures, and also to build up more logistic centers so as to reduce the cost. We will make greater use of the foreign investments. We see that the negative list for foreign investment is fully observed and ensure national treatment for all foreign investing enterprises. We will encourage all of these key projects to be implemented as soon as possible. We will take solid steps to develop pilot-free trade zones. For the opening up, China will sure to provide even greater business opportunities for foreign enterprises in China. We will promote high-quality cooperation under the Belt and Road Initiative. We stay committed to the principle of achieving shared growth through consultation and collaboration. And we will, on the basis of consolidated cooperation on enhancing connectivity, we will try our best to diffuse the overseas risks. We will deepen multilateral, bilateral economic and trade cooperation. The RCEP has created the largest free trade zone in the world. We will encourage enterprises to make good use of preferential tariff treatments. combination of origin, and also we have to uphold multilateralism, and also to foster a mutually beneficial cooperation with countries around the world. 8. Continue to improve the environment and promoting green and low carbon development. We will take holistic steps to improve the environment. We have to work hard to win the battle against the pollution. We will utilize the clean energies in protecting the environment. We have to make sure all of the natural resources can be fully leveraged, making sure that we have a greener and more beautiful places to live. And also we will do our best to achieve the carbon neutralization goal, and also we will take necessary measures to make that possible. We'll push forward the transformation toward low carbon development. We will work harder to make coal usage cleaner and more efficient, and we will work to upgrade coal-fired power plants to conserve resources, reduce carbon emissions, and make operation more flexible and upgrading heating facilities. 9. Ensuring and improving the people's well-being and promoting better and new ways of conducting social governance. We will improve the fairness and quality of education. We will ensure that education performs its fundamental mission of fostering virtue. We will promote high-quality, well-balanced development. And also we will try our best to increase the income for the teachers and provide more teaching resources. And also we will regularize the occupational education, and also we will support the high-level education as well. And also we will provide more resources to the western region and the rural areas. We have put education as our top priority because we have around 290 million students in schools and universities in China. We will improve medical and health services, and making sure that we could increase by 30 yuan per person for their basic medical insurances, and subsidies for basic public health services will be increased as well. And also we will provide more services to treat units such as the cardiovascular and other serious diseases and cancer. We have to build a network and also to revitalize the TCN. We will also extend our medical resources to different areas of the country.
We will channel more high-quality medical resources to the prefecture and the county level, ensure people can access higher-quality medical services close to home. We will improve social security and social services, and we will also continue to increase basic old age insurance funds. We will move faster to promote a unified management of workers' compensation funds, and we will see that service members and their families, ex-service members, and other entitled groups receive the benefits and subsidies they are entitled to. We will promptly respond to pollution aging. We will improve the supporting measures for the three-child policy, make care expands for children under 3 part of the special additional deduction for individual income tax. And we will continue to meet people's housing needs, and we will also continue our efforts to meet people's basic needs. Make sure that our social safety net provides support and assistance to everyone who needs it. Regarding housing issues, guided by the principle that the houses are not for living in, not for speculation, we will explore new models for housing development, and we will see a healthy development in the housing market. We will continue to enrich people's intellectual and cultural lives. We will promote and observe the core socialist values. We will see that the price and the publishing, radio, film, and television, literature and art, philosophy, social science, and archiving all flourishing. We will develop digital public cultural service and also to build the facilities for our people so people can get access to all these facilities at home and promote extensive public fitness activities. We will advance social governance based on collaboration, participation, and common gains. We will work to ensure that the work developed in the sectors of the social organizations, humanitarian assistance, volunteer services. We will crack down hard on the trafficking of women and children and protect their lawful rights and interests.
健全老年人、残疾人关爱服务体系，完善信访。
We will improve the system for handling public complaints, identify and diffuse social problems, and will also increase our capability in the defending disaster. We will continue enhancing the building of our national security so we can build China a peaceful China and advancing the rule of law in China. Fellow deputies, facing new developments and tasks, we in the government at all levels must fully act on the guiding principle from the party's 19th National Congress and the plenary session of the 19th Party Central Committee. We should acquire a deep understanding of the decisive significance of the two establishments, the four consensus, two confidence, and two upholds. We should closely follow the Party Central Committee with Comrade Xi Jinping as core in thinking, stance, and action. We remain committed to law-based governance administration, and our government will, in compliance with the law, accept the oversight of the People's Congresses and their standing committee at the corresponding level, and we will ready commit ourselves to public oversight and oversight through public opinion. Audit-based and statistic-based oversight will also be strengthened. We will keep working tirelessly to ensure full and strict party self-governance and do more to improve party conduct, build integrity, and prevent corruption. All of us in government must readily accept the oversight of the law, supervisory bodies, and the people, always regard the people's interests as our highest concern, and truly serve as public servants of the people. In the face of difficulties and challenges, it is vital that all of us in governments at all levels perform our duty to work diligently for the people. Development remains the top priority for China, and we must fully act on the new development philosophy to pursue high-quality development. We must continue to implement the Central Party leadership's 8-point decision on improving conduct and work tirelessly to oppose wrongdoings. We will firmly oppose a precautionary attitude and passing in government. We must always keep in mind the people's security and well-being and work to understand the realities, take specific steps, and deliver solid outcomes to promptly respond to the people's concern. And we will also take strong measures against any wrongdoings and also disregard for the people's legitimate rights and interests. We make sure there's no one-size-fits-all approach and refrain from making local governments taking excessive policy steps. We will improve the mechanism for providing incentives and protections to support officials who readily take responsibility and abidely perform their duty. We believe that there is no doubt we can accomplish new achievements in pursuing development. Fellow deputies, we will continue to practice and improve the system of regional ethnic autonomy, focus on forging a strong sense of community among the Chinese people, promote interactions, exchanges, and integration among all ethnic groups, and speed up the modernization drive in ethnic minority regions. We will adhere to the party's basic policy on religious affairs, follow the principle that religions in China must be Chinese in orientation. We will fully implement the party's policy on overseas Chinese affairs, protect the lawful rights and interests of Chinese nationals residing abroad, returned Chinese and relatives of overseas Chinese nationals residing in China. Fellow deputies,
国防和军队建设
last year
取得
we made
重大
major strides in
实现
strengthening
十四
national
五两
defense
场
and the armed
新的
forces, getting
要
off to a
深入
good
贯彻
start
习近
in
平
this
强
endeavor
思
in the
想
14th five-year
贯彻
plan.
新时代
This year, we
军
will
事
fully
战方针
implement Xi Jinping's
扣牢
thinking on strengthening the
建
armed
军
forces
100
and the
年
military
奋斗
strategy
目标
for the new era,
全面
work
加强
toward the goal for the
党领导
centenary of the
党
party's
建设
liberation army
全
in
面深化
2027,
练兵
and
备
strengthen
战
party leadership and the
灵活
party building in
坚定
all
灵活
aspects
开展
of the
军事
military,
斗争
and we will
捍卫
enhance
国家
our
主权
military
安全
training
发展
and combat readiness,
加快
and carry out a
现代
military
军事
struggle and
武力体
safeguard
系
China's
军队
sovereignty,
现代
security, and
资
development
产管
interests.
理体系建
We
设
will move faster
构建
to mobilize
武器装
the
备现代化
military's logistics
管
and
理体
asset
系
management system
持续
and
深
build
化
a modern
国
weaponry
防
and
和
equipment
军队改革
management system.
加强
We'll
国
continue
防
the reform
科
of
技创
national
新
defense and the
深入实
military
施新
and
时代
step up
人
innovations
才
in
强军
defense
战
science
略
and
推进
technology.
依
We
法
will implement the
全
strategy
面
of strengthening the
推动
military by training
军队高质量发展
competent
优化
personnel in the new
国防
era,
科
run the
技工业
military in
布局
accordance with the
完
law
成
and strict
国
discipline
防动员
and
体
promote
系
high quality
加强
development
全
of the
民国防教育
military, and we will
各级政
improve
府
the
要
layout
大
of
力支持
defense science,
国防和
technology,
军
and
队建设
industry.
让
And we will
军
finish
人
reforming the
全民团结
defense
坚
mobilization
如
system
磐石
and raise public awareness of national defense. And the unity between the military and the government and between the military
各位
and the
代表
people will remain rock
我们要
solid.
继续全面准确
Fellow
坚
deputies,
定不
we
移
will
贯
remain
彻
our
一国
firm
两制
commitment to
党
the
人
letter
治
and spirit
高
of
人
the
治
policy of
高
one
度自
country,
治
two systems, under
落实
which the
中央
people
对
of Hong Kong
特
and
别
Mr.
行
Hong
政区
Kong
全面
and
管
people
治
of Macau,
坚
Mr.
定落
Macau.
实爱国者
We will
治党
ensure that
爱
the
国
central
治
government
党
exercise
全
overall
力支持
jurisdiction over the
特别
two
行政区政
SAR
府
and
依法
also
施政
uphold the
支持
principle that Hong
港
Kong and
澳
Macau should be
发展经济
governed
改善民生
by
更好地
patriots.
国家发展大局保持
And we will help
香港
Hong Kong and
澳
Macau
长期
develop
繁荣
their economies and improve the well-being of their people and see that these two regions
我们要坚持
integrate
对台
into the
工作
country's
大
overall
规模
development and maintain
贯彻
long-term
新时代
prosperity
答
and
解决
stability.
台湾问题
We remain committed to a major
坚持
principle
一个
and
中国
policy
原
on
则
work
和
related to
九二共识
Taiwan, to the
推动
party's
两岸
overall
关系
policy for
和平发
resolving the
展
Taiwan
和
question
稳
in
定
the new era, and
坚
to
决
the
反
One
对
China
台
principle
独
and the
分裂
1992
情境
consensus.
坚决反对
We
外部
firmly
势力
oppose
干
any
涉
separatist activities
两岸同
seeking
胞
Taiwan
要
independence
合舟
and
共济
firmly oppose
共创
foreign
民
interference.
族复兴
All of us,
光
Chinese
荣
on both sides of the Taiwan Strait, should come together to advance the great and glorious cause of China's rejuvenation.
各位代表
Fellow deputies,
我们要坚持独立自主的和平外交政
China
策
will continue to pursue an independent foreign policy of peace, stay on the path of
推
peaceful
动建
development,
设新型国际关
work
系
for a new type of international relations, and endeavor to build a human community with a shared future. We will pursue the global development initiative and promote the shared values of all
始终是
humanity.
世界和平的建设
China will always work to safeguard world peace, contribute to world development, and preserve international order.
国际社
We
会一
stand
道
ready
为促进
to work with all
世界
others
和
in the
平
international community
稳定
to make
与发
new
展
and greater
繁荣
contributions to
做出
promoting
新
world
的
peace,
更大贡
stability,
献
development, and prosperity.
各位代表
Fellow deputies,
中国的发展从来
it
都是
has
在
always
应对
been
挑
in the
战中
course of
前
meeting
进
challenges that China has
中国人
advanced its development.
有战胜
With the
任何
Chinese people
艰难险
have the courage, vision, and strength to overcome any
我们要更
obstacle
加紧
or
密地团
difficulty.
结在
We must
习近
rally
平
more
同志
closely
为核心的
around the
党
CPC
中央
Central
中央
Committee with Comrade Xi
高
Jinping
举
at its
中国
core,
特色社会主义
hold high the
伟大旗
banner of socialism with
以
Chinese
习近平
characteristics,
新时代
and
中国
follow the
特色社会
guidance
主义
of
思
Xi
想
Jinping's thought on
我知道
socialism with Chinese
攻坚
characteristics
克难
for a new era.
砥砺奋进
We will meet challenges
努力
squarely,
完成
forge ahead,
全年
determinedly
目标
work hard to fulfill this
以
year's
实际
goals
行
and
动
tasks,
迎接
set the
党的
stage for the
20大
20th National
胜利
Congress
召
of the
开
CPC with concrete
为把我
actions,
国
and
建设
continue
成为
working tirelessly
富
to
强
build our country
民
into
主
a great modern
文
socialist
明
country
和
that is
谐
prosperous,
美丽
strong,
的
democratic,
社会
culturally advanced,
现代化
harmonious,
强
and beautiful,
实现
and to
中华
realize
民
the
族
Chinese
伟大
dream
复兴的
of
中国梦
national
不懈奋斗
rejuvenation.